What's up, nail geeks, and welcome back to a Hella Handmade Creations video. This month we have our standard set of polishes, but I think at the point that I'm recording this, I think I have two makers that also have charity polishes to benefit Jamaica and that awful hurricane that came through. Bananas. I was keeping up with it, and it's bananas. So we do have some charity polishes to check out. If you don't know what HHC is, it is a monthly collaboration of dozens of makers. Each maker has their own specific inspiration for their polishes. So sometimes their inspirations monthly will be maybe 6 months. Sometimes I've seen up to 12 months. And in some cases, I've seen even longer than that. So if you are wanting to collect a maker's specific inspiration, say it's a fandom that you really like, or something like that. When you collect them all each month, you'll basically have a collection for that. So each polish I go over, you will hear me say what their respective inspiration is. So without further ado, let's dive in and check it out. Starting off with Arcana Lacquer, Merfolk Kingdom. This is a light blue to white thermal with pink, green, and purple flakes. This one is $13.50. Capped at 240 bottles, and it's part of their Cozy Gaming series. Merfolk has a crelly formula. It's got a touch of a squish factor to it, but it's very smooth and milky in how it builds up and applies. I chose to stop at 2 coats. I can see some of you wanting to go up to 3 coats, but I liked that milky look and I thought it looked just fine, so there you go. This is quite obvious on the cold and warm states, as you can see here, and it dries down semi-flat. I think any top coat works. BCB Lacquers What's Up Danger is a deep cranberry crelly with a strong green to pink shifting shimmer. This one's $13.75 and capped at 300 bottles. This is part of her Into the Spider-Verse series. This polish is something else. It's giving me like 90s Revlon vibes. I'm so here for it. And it's just vintagey, sort of, but it's glorious. The formula is creamy smooth, easy and opaque. I'm going to suggest 2 fabulous buttery smooth coats and a glossy top coat. BCB's charity polish this month is Sun is Shining. This is a dark purple crelly leaning jelly with a gold to green shifting shimmer. It's $13.75, capped at 300, and $2 per bottle will be donated to the World Central Kitchen. Even though the official description says jelly leaning, this is very opaque and beautiful. It's very self-leveling. I chose to do 2 normal for me coats, and you can see how lush and plump this one built up. So honestly, across the board, I think 2 coats is good for everybody, and a good glossy top coat because it does dry down quite flat. This month's cuticle oil in the Behemoth 6ml style pens is in the scent No on the Cape. It is $8.50 and capped at 100 pens. This month's scent notes include pear, blueberries, pineapple, juniper berry, eucalyptus, spruce, woods, Douglas fir, cedar, and musk. So those of you who are not big bakery fans like myself, this one's probably going to be for you. To my nose, I'm getting quite a bit of that fir and cedar. It's got that walking into, say, a holiday shop type of smell to my nose. It's like that's at the forefront. There is a touch of a fresh type of fruity smell on the super bottom undertones, but to my nose, it's mostly a very green type of scent, fresh, almost watery, if that makes sense. That's the best way I can describe it. I guess the watery that I'm kind of smelling might be maybe from the pear, but again, it's just green is how I can describe this one. Green, very tree-like, very firs, walking into a tree farm, if you will. So this pen is quite large. I will spare you all my raving. I do love these pens a lot. They're huge, lots of product that you will get. Cracked Polish Caribbean Courage is a black with pink shimmers. This one's $13, capped at 600, and $3 per bottle will be donated to directrelief.org. Caribbean Courage has a, I don't really want to classify it as a jelly type of buildup because it doesn't build up like a jelly, but not quite squishy and milky as I would describe a crelly per se. I think it's more a standard type of formula. Easy peasy opacity. This one built up very nice for me. I thought 2 coats worked the best, and a glossy top coat. It dries semi-flat, but I think any top coat works just fine. Cracked Polishes Murky Intentions is a murky green base with plum shimmers. It's 13, capped at 350, and it's part of their It's Not You, It's the Weather series. This is a very flattering type of prugly. I typically am not a fan of pruglies myself, but I thought it worked with my skin tone really well. And that's typically why I don't do pruglies a whole lot. Usually they're quite warm and they kind of blend in with my skin tone's palette, if that makes sense. But I thought this popped very well on me. So with that said, I think across the board, it's going to be pretty universally flattering, even with being a lovely warm type of base. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat. Cuticula Lilac Dreams is a lilac base full of micro orange gold green shifting flakes, cherry holographic glitters, and small metallic fuchsia flakes. This one's $13.50 with no cap, and it's part of her Wings of a Butterfly series. This is quite sparkly in person, and it's, in my opinion, a bit of a different take on a flaky balm, especially in how it applies. It almost applies almost like a micro glitter or like a micro flake type of finish. I chose to do 2 coats. I think that's plenty, as it is very generous in all the goodies in the formula. You might want to use a glitter smoother though to smooth out any thirstiness. Jen & Berry's You're Gonna Be Fine is a pale teal base with small green, aqua blue, purple flakes and blue holographic micro glitter. This one's $13.50, capped at 140 bottles, and it's part of her The Fringe series. You're Gonna Be Fine is what I would describe as applying like a micro glitter. Again, we're seeing this, but I chose to stop at 2 coats. I think some of you might want to push up to 3 coats, your choice, and just go in incredibly thin, but you'll want to leave room for a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat. This is quite sparkly and like glistening like, if that makes sense in person. Night Owl Lacquer, Oh That's Nasty, is a dusty mint curly filled with multichrome flakes that shift to a silvery pink and green. This one's $13 with no cap, and it's part of her Bob's Burgers series. That's Nasty has an excellent formula despite its name, and it's very easy to build up to opacity. It's almost got like a self-leveling curly type of formula. I'm going to suggest 2 coats, possibly glitter smoother and a glossy top coat. Pampered Polishes, How Bad Can I Be, is an orange jelly with red, orange, and gold glitters and iridescent flakes. This one's $12.50 with no cap, and it's part of her Wreck-It Ralph series. This is one of those types of jellies that is going to look pretty different depending on what layer you stop on. I chose to take it up to 3 coats because jellies, that's typically what I do, to see how much color payoff I can get on the nail. You can see here, it offers almost like a pseudo-like opacity. I think if you have a really prominent free edge or you tend to apply very thin, you might see a touch of your smile line, a tiny bit in real bright light. So I will suggest 3 coats for sure and a glossy top coat. I didn't have a whole lot of texture, I guess because the glitters are on the smaller side. Penelope Luz's duo this month is part of her Photography by Me series. This first one is Tuomas. Tuomas? I believe I've seen that correctly. I apologize if I am butchering this. This is a black base with a little purple shimmer and a little silver fine glitter. It's $13.50, capped at $200, and you can buy it in its duo for $25.50 with a cap of $200 for the sets. I chose to take this one up to 2 coats. I knew I was going to use the topper with it, and honestly, it had excellent opacity for the second coat. It does apply very jelly-like and light, so I went in a touch heavy-handed. The counterpart to the duo, Beloved Sun, is a topper with a magnetic silver to purple with fine silver glitter. This one's $13, capped at $200 if you choose to purchase it by itself. Beloved Sun has a wonderful metallic chrome-like magnetic formula, and it's very user-friendly. As you can see with here on my ring magnet, snap to very quickly, no issues to report on this. And surprisingly, I was expecting it to be one of those fine particled type of slippery magnetic pigments and that it was going to super smear with my top coat. I didn't really get a whole lot of that, but I will still say magnetize your glossy top coat layer. Sassy Sauce's Firestarter is a burgundy tinted base with strong fiery magnetic pull that reveals a purpley pink large particle shimmer in the background. This one's $13.50, capped at 300 bottles, and it's part of her Shoes series. Those of you who like those really intense types of magnetics, this one's up your alley. I love how like just much drama this one looks, and it is dense and viscous in the best way possible. I do not mean that in a hard to use way. It's just very easy to build up, and it's got that delightful thickness that I like to my polishes. So I chose to do 2 coats. It is also, despite being a heavier type of formula, it was still no issues magnetizing that pigment there. You might want to use a glitter smoother with this because it does dry down quite flat in a flaky magnetic type of way. Victorian varnishes through the Parterre. I'm so sorry if I'm just butchering things tonight. This is a blue base paired with silver to blue Aurora shimmer and micro blue to violet Aurora holographic flakes. This one's $13.50, capped at $300, and it's part of their Books, Botanicals, and Tea series. This one has a very dense, heavy formula too, and I say that not as a bad thing again. The flakes to this give it a very heavy type of way in terms that it applies. So go in light-handed and kind of clean off your brush a little bit, but go in light, 2 coats, and a glitter smoother and glossy top coat, because the flakes of this one give it a specific type of thirstiness, if that makes sense. And then Victorian Varnish is back with Lavish Hand and Cuticle Cream in the scent Blackberry Scones. This is $9 for the tub here, or tube, I should say, tube, pump, that makes more sense. And it's capped at 60 pumps. The scent notes to this month is freshly picked blackberries, complemented by hints of boysenberry and raspberry and nuances of buttery warm crust. It does say that this scent is definitely more fruity than bakery, so the sweetness doesn't overpower the fruit. And to my nose, I completely agree with this. I'm not quite sure, I can't put my finger on what exactly it's reminding me of, but it is a true type of fruit. It's not like an overpowering, super sweet type of bakery. It's a delightful, true type of fruity bakery scent, if that makes sense. So I'm not getting a whole lot of that, super intense artificial vanilla smell that I, typically gravitate towards, but this is very pleasant. Kind of walks the fine line between, you don't have to be a bakery lover to love this one. It is very pleasant, light scented too. It's not like in your face and just overly, sickeningly intense on the scent. It's light and true type of fruity and just soft overall. And Victorian Varnish is also bringing their Tincture Acetone Additive Duo. We get the scents Lemon Curd and Blackberry Scones. The duo itself is $9, and there's a cap of 50 sets. So the scents to these, the Blackberry Scones, is pretty much like the Lavish Hand and Cuticle Cream, and the Lemon Curd, to my nose, is a delightful, strong kitchen lemon curd type scent. Not sickeningly sweet either. It's very much like a tea lemon curd undertone to it. And I don't mean that in a bad way again. This is more like Bath & Body Works kitchen lemon type scent, but with that curd kind of rounding it out with a bit of sweetness. Acetone additives. You can use these a full vial. You can pop off the little dropper on the bottles and pop it in a pump bottle. I typically use an entire vial in my 8-ounce Zoya Remove Plus bottle. I've been using that thing forever and replenishing it over the years. I've had that thing for a ton of time. Or the way I typically use it, I put 4 drops or so in my little dapping dish because I haven't worn polish for myself in a hot minute, but I do clean up my cuticles when I'm polishing, things like that, for swatching especially. And this is the best way that I can do that while swatching and not making my skin look crusty on the videos as I'm removing, if I need to, when I get polish on my skin, my cuticles, what have you. Wicked, the Grand Wheel, is a plum dark blue multichrome with holographic glitters. This one's $13.50, capped at $100, and it's part of her Carnival of Chaos series. The Grand Wheel has a jelly formula to it. It started off on the softer side. I think those of you who are rocking natural nails could probably do 2 generous coats, and I think you could stop there. But for my big ass nails, for my wide load nails, I chose to do 3 light to normal coats for myself because I could see a little bit through my falsies in the bright lights. So your preference and your nail type, all that good stuff, 2 to 3 coats and a glossy top coat. This dries down really flat, so make sure you're using a plumping glossy top coat. Zombie Claw Snugglebones is an indigo green base with linear holographic effect and purple to blue multichrome shimmer. This one's $13.75, capped at 100 bottles, and it's part of her Zombies series. I really liked Snugglebones and how it builds up. It started off soft and almost jelly-like, but it's quite smooth on application. I chose to do 3 coats, and I will urge you to do the same to maximize all that multichrome pigment going throughout it, and the payoff is well worth it. The holographic effect is very lovely in bright light situations. Indoor lighting situations where that dulls, you're going to see a very much indigo to purple type shift, almost like a dominant duochrome, if you ask me. And we're going to wrap this up with the Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. Arcana's Merfolk is a thermal. Don't do it. BCB's What's Up Danger. As much as I love this polish, it does look pretty cool over black. Sun is Shining, same thing, but you're taking away their base colors, but you could possibly. Both of the cracks, I'm kind of on the fence because very much like the BCBs, they're shimmer bombs. Cuticula Lilac Dreams looks really cool over black. I could see this working really cool with blues and purples. Gin and Berries, same thing. Even though it's got a light tinted base, I think you could get a little creative with it. Night Owl is too cream-like, too crelly, I don't recommend. Pampered Polishes is a jelly. So in my opinion, jellies and creams are like putting underwear on underwear. Why would you do it? And then the Penelope Luz, both of them. Now the topper, of course, yes, it does absolutely work. But I thought it looked really beautiful with its duo counterpart. Firestarter is interesting over black, but I like the contrast when not toppered. Victorian Varnish is incredibly opaque. This gives you a really good idea of how the flakes go through the formula. Wicked is a jelly, but it's a shimmer bomb, so it might work over dark colors. Zombie Claw, same thing. It has a light tint to it, but I think you could get away with probably blues, teals, deep types of jewel tones like that. At the time I am recording this video, wish listing should be up, and you could check out and have official shopping starting November 14th through November 21st. I will link HHC below for you all, and I'll also link to Facebook group if you want to get in there and you prefer that format for your info too. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.